No one saw this coming. After a year filled with heartbreak, silence, and speculation, Dave Grohl and Jordyn Blum finally walked the red carpet together again, and the world stopped to watch. Their unexpected appearance at the Hope in the City of Angels charity gala wasn't just another celebrity outing. For many, it felt like the calm after a storm that nearly destroyed their 21-year marriage just a year ago. Grohl's name dominated headlines for all the wrong reasons. His heartfelt confession that he had welcomed a child outside his marriage left fans stunned and the internet divided. In a single moment, one of rock's most beloved figures went from being the loyal family man of the Foo Fighters to the center of a deeply personal scandal. The revelation was raw, honest, and filled with remorse. But for his wife, Jordyn, it was nothing short of devastating. When they arrived side by side at the Los Angeles event on October 18th, whispers rippled through the crowd. Was this their comeback moment, or just a brave public front for a marriage still healing behind closed doors? Cameras flashed as Grohl, dressed in a sharp black suit, smiled gently beside Jordyn, elegant in a cream mini dress and calm but distant in demeanor. It wasn't just a photo op, it was a statement, a moment that spoke louder than words. After months of quiet reflection and separation rumors, the couple's presence together told the world that something had changed. But whether it was reconciliation, forgiveness, or a final attempt to move forward, that's the question everyone's still asking, because behind those red carpet smiles lies a story of betrayal, heartbreak, and perhaps redemption, one that started long before the cameras began flashing. It was the confession that no one saw coming, and one that shattered the image of one of rock's most respected frontmen. In September 2024, Dave Grohl stunned fans with a quiet, emotional post on Instagram. In it, he revealed that he had recently become the father of a new baby girl, but this child wasn't with his wife, Jordyn Blum. He didn't hide behind denial or silence. Instead, his words came with a tone of deep regret. "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter, born outside of my marriage," Grohl wrote. "I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness." It was a raw admission that felt both courageous and heartbreaking, a man facing his biggest mistake under the unforgiving spotlight of fame. The public reaction was immediate. Fans were shocked, torn between admiration for his honesty and disappointment in his actions. Grohl, long admired for his integrity and devotion to family, suddenly found himself at the center of a media storm. Rumors swirled. Who was the woman? How long had it been going on? And could Jordyn ever forgive him? Behind the scenes, sources told people that Jordyn had known for a while about the baby, but was devastated when the truth became public. She felt blindsided by the timing, and humiliated by the fact that millions now knew what she had tried to process privately. Friends close to her described her as heartbroken but composed, leaning on her inner circle for strength as she faced the unthinkable. Reports soon surfaced that Grohl had even retained a divorce attorney before going public, suggesting that he may have feared the worst, that this would end their 2-decade-long marriage. But the couple's story wasn't over yet, because even in the midst of betrayal, something unexpected began to take shape. A quiet struggle between love, guilt, and the power of forgiveness. And as the world watched, the question became clear: could Jordyn ever truly forgive the man who broke her trust? Or was this the beginning of the end for one of rock's most admired couples? When the truth finally came out, Jordyn Blum's world collapsed in silence. Friends close to her described those first few weeks as a blur: shock, betrayal, disbelief. For over 2 decades, she had stood beside Dave Grohl through global tours, fame, and family. But nothing could have prepared her for this. The man she loved, the father of her 3 daughters, had fathered another child outside their marriage. At first, her instinct was simple: walk away. Sources told people that Jordyn immediately considered divorce. The pain was too deep, the humiliation too public. Every headline, every comment online, felt like a dagger twisting the wound. Friends rallied around her like family, offering shoulders to cry on and gentle reminders that healing would take time. They said she was heartbroken but graceful, refusing to lash out publicly, even as her personal life became a global spectacle. But as the weeks turned into months, something inside Jordyn shifted. Away from the noise of tabloids and speculation, she began reflecting on what she truly wanted, not just as a wife, but as a mother. The couple's 3 daughters, Violet, Harper, and Ophelia, became her anchor. She didn't want their family to shatter overnight. Friends say Jordyn is deeply rooted in her values: loyalty, family, forgiveness, and those beliefs pulled her back from the edge. Grohl, on the other hand, didn't just apologize, he pleaded. Insiders revealed that he was devastated and begged her to forgive him. He promised to change, to rebuild, to prove his love in every possible way. And slowly, the cracks between them began to heal. It wasn't instant, and it wasn't easy. But their conversations turned from anger to understanding, from blame to rebuilding. By late November, whispers began spreading that the couple was working things out. Friends said Jordyn's decision wasn't about forgetting the betrayal, it was about choosing peace over pain. She knew forgiveness didn't erase the past, but maybe it could rewrite the future. Still, beneath the calm exterior, there lingered an unspoken question. Could love truly survive a wound this deep? Or was this just the beginning of a long, fragile recovery? The hardest part of any broken relationship isn't the apology, it's what comes after. Jordyn and Tristan stood at the edge of something fragile. Something that had once been beautiful, but was now scarred by betrayal and doubt. When they decided to rebuild, it wasn't an easy or romantic choice. It was a war against the memories that haunted them. For Jordyn, every smile came with hesitation. Could she truly believe in his change? And for Tristan, every gesture of love had to be earned, not expected. Nights were filled with long talks, confessions, and tears that no camera ever captured. They weren't the glamorous couple people once admired. They were two broken souls, trying to rewrite their story. But rebuilding trust isn't about forgetting, it's about proving. Jordyn watched as Tristan made slow, consistent efforts, being there, showing up, and choosing honesty over comfort. Little by little, the cracks began to heal. Their laughter slowly returned, not loud and carefree like before, but gentle, cautious, and real. Still, not everyone believed in their reunion. The world whispered, doubting every move they made. But Jordyn didn't care. This time, she wasn't rebuilding for the world, she was rebuilding for herself. Trust, once shattered, can never return the same, but sometimes what's rebuilt is even stronger than before. Because love, when tested by fire, either burns away or becomes unbreakable. And in their quiet moments, away from the noise, it seemed like maybe Jordyn and Tristan had found a way to rise again. Would you like me to continue with the next part? Public reaction and media storm, in the same tone and flow. It was the moment no one saw coming, and yet, when it happened, the world couldn't look away. The flash of cameras, the roar of reporters, and in the middle of it all, Jordyn and Tristan, hand in hand, silent, confident, and glowing in a way that said only one thing: they were back. The red carpet wasn't just a walk this time, it was a statement, a declaration that no scandal, no rumor, no past mistake could define them forever. Jordyn's eyes told a story of strength, a woman who had been broken but refused to stay that way. And Tristan, standing beside her, carried the look of a man who knew the world was watching, and yet, he didn't flinch. The crowd whispered, the media clicked, and fans flooded timelines with disbelief. Could this really be happening? After everything, the lies, the heartbreak, the separation, were they truly back together? Every pose, every glance, every step they took screamed of a silent message: we're not hiding anymore. But behind those bright lights and dazzling outfits, the truth was far more complicated. This wasn't a perfect reunion. It was a fragile truce, a second chance on borrowed time. The smiles were real, but so were the scars. Still, for one night under the shimmer of cameras and flashes, Jordyn and Tristan weren't symbols of controversy. They were two people rewriting their narrative, proving that sometimes the comeback isn't about fame or forgiveness. It's about finally stepping into the light without fear. Because on that red carpet, they didn't just return, they reclaimed their story. The internet exploded, but not with celebration. As Jordyn and Tristan made their red carpet return, the world didn't unite, it divided. Some fans called it healing, others called it hypocrisy. The timelines became battlegrounds of opinion, where every post, every glance, every smile was analyzed like evidence in a trial. Supporters of Jordyn stood by her fiercely. They said she'd earned the right to move forward, that forgiveness was her victory, not her weakness. She's grown, they wrote. Let her be happy. And for a moment, that love felt loud enough to drown out the past. But not everyone could forget. Many fans felt betrayed, believing this reunion erased the pain that once defined them. After everything he did, they asked, she deserves better. Hashtags started trending, and once again, Jordyn's name was on everyone's lips, not for her success, but for her choice. Meanwhile, Tristan faced a storm of skepticism. For some, his redemption arc looked too polished, too rehearsed. Could a man so public in his mistakes truly be private in his change? The comments flooded in, half filled with hope, half with fury. Yet, through all the chaos, one truth stood out. People cared, deeply. Their story wasn't just about celebrity love. It mirrored every broken relationship people had ever tried to fix, every what if they'd ever whispered. And maybe that's why emotions ran so high, because in Jordyn and Tristan, fans saw a reflection of themselves. Love, betrayal, forgiveness. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was human, raw, and real. The flashes fade, the cheers die down, and behind closed doors, the real story begins. After the red carpet smiles and polite handholds, what comes next for Jordyn and Tristan isn't fame, it's faith. Faith in each other, in the quiet promise that healing doesn't happen in headlines, it happens in the unseen moments. Sources close to the couple say they're choosing peace over pressure, spending more time away from the noise, focusing on family dinners, small routines, and the kind of conversations that don't make it to social media. For Jordyn, it's about rebuilding a life that feels real again. For Tristan, it's about proving that his words now carry weight, not just apologies, but actions. The world may still judge them, but they're no longer performing for it. They've learned that love, once fractured, doesn't return to what it was. It becomes something new, something that must be earned every single day. Their daughters remain the heartbeat of this recovery. Every choice, every decision, every boundary set is for them to show that even after pain, family can still mean something strong, something sacred. And maybe that's the quiet beauty of what's next. There won't be a grand finale, no dramatic goodbye or perfect ending, just two people trying again, not because they forgot the past, but because they finally understood its lesson for the world. This might just be another Hollywood comeback story, but for Jordyn and Tristan, it's life, love, and forgiveness. Still in progress. As the night drew to a close, the cameras dimmed, and applause faded into whispers. One truth lingered in the air. Dave Grohl had survived the storm. From the chaos of headlines to the ache of betrayal, he had walked through fire, not unscarred, but undeniably changed. This wasn't the story of a rock star saving his image. It was the story of a man rebuilding his soul. Dave's redemption didn't come from grand gestures or press statements. It came from quiet accountability, from showing up when it mattered, from choosing to stay when running would have been easier. Jordyn's forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was power. Together, they stood on that red carpet, not as a perfect couple, but as proof that healing is messy, painful, and possible. Their smiles weren't rehearsed, they were earned. For the world, it may always be the scandal that shocked Hollywood, but for them, it's something deeper, a rebirth. The music continues, the love endures, and the man once defined by noise now finds peace in silence. Dave Grohl, rock legend, husband, father, flawed and forgiven, may have written countless songs, but this was his truest one yet, the song of redemption.